In an open field in the Voronezh region of southwestern Russia, two military helicopters were parked on a temporary landing strip, undergoing refueling and maintenance checks between flights. One was an Mi-28 attack helicopter, valued at approximately £13 million sterling. The other was an Mi-17 transport and utility aircraft, valued at around £4.5 million. Neither made it back into the air. Ukrainian drones found them, struck them in sequence, and destroyed both within seconds of each other. The footage, captured from the drones themselves, showed each aircraft consumed by black smoke in turn. The strike took place roughly 100 miles inside Russian territory. This video will walk through how that attack was executed, who carried it out, what it reveals about how Ukraine's drone program has developed since 2022, and what the broader implications are for how this war is being fought on both sides. The unit responsible is Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces, known by the abbreviation USF. The force was established as a distinct branch of the Ukrainian military to consolidate and professionalize drone operations, which had grown from improvised frontline tactics into a structured, multi-layered capability. Its commander is Major Robert Brovdi, known by his call sign Magyar. The USF is a relatively small component of Ukraine's overall military structure. It accounts for approximately 2% of total personnel. Its estimated share of destroyed enemy targets, however, is around 1/3 of the total. Its casualty rate, according to Brovdi, is under 1%. Those three numbers together describe a force that has achieved an unusually high ratio of effect to cost, and they explain why Ukraine has continued to expand and invest in drone operations even as conventional frontline fighting has remained attritional. The Voronezh strike did not happen in isolation. It was one point on a development curve that began in August 2024, when a small Ukrainian first-person view drone, an FPV, a type of commercially derived racing drone modified for military use, struck an Mi-8 attack helicopter mid-flight. That was the first confirmed strike of its kind. The helicopter, valued at approximately £12 million, was hit in Russian-held territory about 30 miles from the front line. At the time, that distance was considered a significant operational extension. Within months, the parameters shifted further. In September 2025, another helicopter was struck mid-flight using an FPV drone. In March 2026, a Ka-52 attack helicopter, valued at roughly £13 million, was downed in flight after a preparation period of 6 weeks. The Voronezh strike, targeting aircraft parked 100 miles inside Russia, represents the latest and most geographically extended point in that progression. Major Brovdi described the targeting methodology used in the Voronezh attack in precise terms. The drones were directed at the rear central section of each aircraft's engine compartment, deliberately avoiding the main rotor blades. The sequencing, successive individual strikes on each helicopter, was designed to ensure confirmed destruction rather than damage. At least one helicopter maintenance specialist was killed in the attack. One technician was visibly still working on the Mi-17 at the moment of impact and turned toward the incoming drone in the last second before the strike. That detail, captured on drone footage, illustrates the speed and precision of the operation. Understanding what these helicopters represent helps contextualize the loss. The Mi-28, designated Havoc by NATO, entered Russian service in 2009. It is a heavily armored attack rotorcraft equipped with guided missiles and a cannon designed for agility and all-weather operation. It has been used extensively in Russian combat operations. The Mi-17 is a Soviet-era design that remains in active production, a dual-role aircraft used for troop and cargo transport, but also capable of functioning as a gunship when fitted with machine guns, rockets, and anti-tank missiles. Losing both aircraft at a maintenance stop without either reaching combat altitude, represents a clean material loss with no offsetting operational gain. Brovdi, speaking to the BBC in the same period, stated that Ukrainian long-range drones were now capable of reaching targets between 1,500 and 2,000 kilometers inside Russian territory. If accurate, that range effectively eliminates the concept of a secure rear area for Russian forces. Any location within that radius becomes a potential strike zone, and the need to defend it consumes resources and attention that would otherwise go to frontline operations. He also said that Ukraine had been accelerating its deep strike campaign for several weeks on an unprecedented scale, with oil export facilities as a primary target category alongside military equipment. Consider the first scenario. Ukraine maintains and expands this deep strike capability through 2026. Russian air defense resources, already stretched along a long front line, face increasing demand to cover rear area assets, maintenance facilities, fuel depots, logistics hubs, airfields. Each defensive reallocation is a trade-off. Equipment that cannot be safely maintained in rear areas either moves closer to the front, where it faces different risks, or is moved further back, reducing its operational utility. The USF's combination of low casualty rates and high target destruction rates allows Ukraine to sustain this pressure without proportionate losses. Over time, the cumulative effect on Russian aviation assets, oil infrastructure, and logistics capacity compounds. In the second scenario, Russia develops effective countermeasures to the long-range drone threat. Electronic warfare systems capable of disrupting drone navigation at extended ranges, combined with denser air defense coverage of high-value rear area assets, reduce the strike success rate significantly. In that case, Ukraine's drone advantage narrows, and the war returns more fully to its conventional attrition dynamic, where Russia's larger manpower and industrial base create different pressures for Kyiv. The outcome of this technological competition between drone navigation and electronic countermeasures is not determined, and both sides have been iterating on it continuously since 2022. Watch for 3 indicators in the coming weeks. First, whether the reported acceleration of deep strikes produces measurable effects on Russian oil export volumes or aviation sortie rates that appear in public data. Second, whether Russia announces any changes to its air defense deployment posture in response to documented rear area losses. Third, whether Major Brovdi's USF publishes additional operational data that updates the 1/3 of targets figure. That metric, if it continues to hold or rises, is the clearest single indicator of how the drone campaign is tracking relative to the broader war. The Voronezh strike destroyed approximately 17.5 million pounds of Russian military equipment in a single operation, 100 miles from the front line, with a unit that represents 2% of Ukraine's military. The numbers are specific. What they add up to, over time, is still being calculated.